Hello, and welcome to week 2 of College Reading Strategies. There are a few things that I wanted to point out to you this week that'll help you be successful for the rest of the semester. One of those things is always knowing where you're at in this course. You can, at any point, any time of the day, check out My Grades and find out what your current average is. So let's take a look at that. Over here, we have a tab that is called My Grades. So I'm going to click on that. Once it opens up, there are some things that you need to realize. There are certain lines in here that I cannot delete. They're just part of a template. And so anything that appears as a heading with lowercase letters, that is something that doesn't concern you. So weighted total here, that number will have no meaning, but this weighted total will. This weighted total will appear in a percentage form, and that would be your current grade in the class. That's an average of your assignments as well as your test grades. And so anytime you want to figure out what your grade is in class, you would simply convert that percentage to the table that's in your syllabus and be able to figure out what your current grade is. This is your average for test grades, and this is your average for assignment grades. And again, both of those will appear over in the right side of the column. Again, we follow with several of the lowercase headers, and those don't apply to you, so just ignore them. Below that, you'll see all of your assignments are listed. The assignments have the title here, the due date is listed, the category that they fall in, which is, for the most part, assignments. And then there's the start of a fraction over here. Your score will appear in front of the number and to let you know how many points out of the points possible you received. Sometimes there will be a little balloon, kind of like a cartoon balloon, that'll appear right here, and that means you should click on it because you would be able then to see any comments that I might have made for you. This is critically important because it's one of two ways I have of communicating with you. Sometimes you'll do an assignment and you'll just miss one little piece of the directions, and I'll want to give you another opportunity to redo it for full points. And so be sure to check these comments so that you know if there's something that you need to redo. And sometimes it'll just simply say, good job. The other way that I have of communicating with you is through email. And that's why I ask you to check your email on a daily basis so that if I'm trying to get in contact with you, it'll be a quick turnaround between the two of us. The other thing that you'll notice when you have turned in assignments is that this will be a live link, the assignment name. And so you'll be able to click on it and it will take you to the assignment in Blackboard and to your work as well. So right now I am going to exit out of the student preview that I'm in. It'll take just a second to convert back. And I would like to remind you that you're always going to want to read the announcements that appear in the announcement column here. Hopefully you've read all the ones to date. And that's, again, another way that I have of communicating with you. Most often, I will send an announcement out also as an email. And I'll try to always remember to say this announcement is going out to all the students so you don't think that it's a message pinpointed to you. And so receiving it via your email and reading it here, it's just two ways that I have of ensuring that you get important information from me. Let's take a look at the Week 2 folder. So I'm going to go over here to Weekly Folders. The Week 2 folder is now on the top. I'll open that. And we have, once again, the quote of the week, which is a way of giving you some inspirational words to guide you through the week. And then this particular grid, as I call it, is so critically important because sometimes it's hard to keep track of assignments. You all have busy lives. Some of you are parents, some of you have outside jobs, and lots of things going on. So this grid is a quick and easy way to see what assignments are due on what day. And so always refer to this as your go-to for knowing if you have anything due on a particular day. Just as it was the case with last week with the videos and your comments back to your classmates, this week again there's a trading cards assignment that will have you post on one day and then respond to your classmates on another day. We see that the week starts out with one assignment due on Tuesday, and that's choosing a book. Let's take a look at what that's all about. The choosing a book assignment is listed right here. It's a Word doc. As you know from last week, when you do any of these assignments, don't remove any of the questions, but simply add your responses in a different colored text right to the existing document. Save it with your name in the title, and then come back to here and click on choosing a book, which is the title of the assignment. It's underlined, so you know it's a live link. And then just come down to browse your computer, find your file, scroll down a little further, and hit submit. And that's all there is to it. This series of questions that I'm asking you to do is critically important. One of the recurring themes that we have throughout the semester is the Wisconsin Author Project. Anytime you want to know more about the Wisconsin Author Project, you'll find a link over here in the main menu with all kinds of information. I encourage you to explore that at your leisure. But for this week, what we're going to do is to start by deciding what book might you be interested in. While your book will be written by either a Wisconsin or Minnesota author, you have a wide range of choices as far as topics is concerned. There are nonfiction as well as fiction books. There are books on every genre imaginable. So you should be able to find a book that will suit you well in terms of your taste. Other things you should consider are how avid a reader are you? If you're a person who hasn't read a book for a couple of years, you certainly don't want to select something that's 600 pages long. That's kind of setting yourself up for a less than successful experience. So keep that in mind as well. As you're perusing the books, if you can get to a sample page or two, that's a great way to see if the vocabulary in the book is going to be a match for your abilities as well. I think you'll find this exercise to be very helpful for you in finding that just right fit for a book for the Wisconsin Author Project. Other aspects of the Wisconsin Author Project, in addition to reading the book, include writing a paper that's about the life of the author of your book. And then later on, there'll be a paper due on the what's called an opinion paper, where you'll get to tell me everything you thought about the book and then defend your thoughts and your opinions with citations from the book itself. So as you start to read your book, one of the best pieces of advice I could give you is to put little post-it notes in the book and maybe even give yourself a couple of words of why you selected that particular page and that particular paragraph. It might be that it's a really good example of the author using vocabulary that is just simply too highfalutin, too difficult for you to understand. And so you could give yourself a little note like that. When it comes to writing your opinion paper, it'll write itself practically if you've done your homework ahead of time. So consider getting those post-it notes and using those while you're reading the book to record your thoughts and your reactions to the book. The next assignment is just a fun one, another get to know each other activity, and it's to create a trading card. There's a live link here for you to follow, and once you get there, you'll be able to upload a picture. Choose a picture of either a place, an item, or maybe even a person that is very meaningful and important to you. And then at the bottom of the trading card, there will be a space for you to share with us why this particular picture is so important to you. One of the things I can't stress enough this week is the chapter work for week 2. It looks so benign sitting here all by itself, but once we open it up, you'll find that there's a good bit of work that's due by Thursday of this week. And so it'll be really important for you to start on this work early in the week and not save it all for Thursday. So let's click on this folder, chapter work for week 2. And you'll see that I'm asking you to read the first 10 pages in our text. I know that some of you might not have your own copy of the book yet. Make sure you get that this week. And so I provided pages for you for that reading. And then there is going to be a PowerPoint video that will give you your instruction. It replaces the lecture in a class. And so it's important that you follow that through very carefully and rewatch it if you need to. And then there's other chapter assignments that are due for this week. So let's take a look at those. you're going to be studying a incredibly beneficial study strategy called SQ3R. And so you have a number of pieces of information, as you can see here, for the SQ3R. You'll have the PowerPoint video. You'll have a sample of a health textbook. It's chapter 12 from a health textbook, and we're going to use that to practice some of the skills that we learn with SQ3R. You'll also find the chapter 12 assignment itself that you'll open up and perform. And you'll find an SQ3R bookmark that will help you to capture the steps of the process in a very short amount of space. And then there will also be another document here called Cornell Notes, which is a form of note-taking that works so very well with SQ3R. So that is one assignment. I might encourage you to, do this piece on Monday, for instance, although it's not due until Thursday, but you're going to need to space it out according to your commitments that you have going in your life. SQ3R Assignment 2 is going to ask you to use a textbook from another class. Now, math textbooks won't work well for this one, so hopefully you've got a textbook from this semester where you're already assigned a chapter or so that you have to read, and you'll use that then for this assignment. If you don't have any other textbook for this semester, perhaps you have a textbook left around from a previous semester. Bottom line, if you have no access to other textbooks, I would encourage you to contact the Truex Library. I'm sure they will be able to put you in contact with an online book that they have on reserve for another class. Be choosy. If you like psychology, ask them for a sample chapter from a psychology textbook, or sociology, or any other topic that you might think would be a class at Madison College. The next piece is a chapter to check your understanding. This is just a series of true-false questions. And then there's chapter 1, exercise 1. Now you'll notice that the logo changes on these. This is an assignment, and so it looks like a page with a book on top of it. This looks more like one of those Scantron tests. And so these answers you will answer right within Blackboard itself. And now we'll go back to the rest of the week. So those assignments are all due on Thursday. And then as we scroll down, we say there is a couple of things that will be due on Saturday. One of them is that by Saturday, you need to have in your possession the Wisconsin author book that you're going to read for this ongoing project. And so in order to prove that you've got that book in your hand, I want you to hold the book and take a picture of yourself holding the book. I need to be able to read the title and the author's name, as well as see your bright, shining face. And so that is all you have to do for this particular assignment. There's further directions here listed for you. And then, just as you did last week, there's a new set of word work words. This week, once again, you'll be finding 2 examples of words for each word part. So you'll have 2 examples for para, 2 examples for com, 2 for ek, and x. Now, remember that prefixes are parts of a word that are added on to an already existing word. And so you have to have an existing word that you are adding this word part to make a new word. When you do that, almost always a prefix will change the meaning of the word. For instance, if I'm told that I have an operable tumor, what a relief, because that means that they can operate on it and cure me. If I'm told, though, that I have an inoperable tumor, not such great news. That means they cannot operate. So that silly 2-letter prefix makes a big deal of difference. And then we also have a root word. Let's see if I can move this down a bit, which is cap. So you can't just simply use cap as a word. You need to use cap as the root word that is part of a larger word, such as capsize. And you can find a lot of other words, that begin with cap that use it as the root word. If you're having difficulty finding words, the best advice I can give you is to just simply go onto Google and do a Google search. So, words with the prefix com, words with the prefix para, root words using cap, and you'll find that you'll get all kinds of responses back from that. Then what you can't see visible on the screen right now is the suffix, which is the letter Y, which in definition means characterized by. So instead of saying love, we might say lovely, and that means that you're characterized by love. Um, so word work, once again, will be submitted. Again, there's a live link here that you can see because the hand shows up, and you'll just simply attach your work. Best of luck to you in week 2. I would also encourage those of you who have never used Blackboard before or have never taken an online class before of a couple of ways that you can get some assistance. Number one, you can always email me with questions, but sometimes you need a conversation with the person. You need to work through the lesson with someone else. I can't say enough about the Student Achievement Center at Madison College. It's located at Truex on the 2nd floor, and it's staffed by excellent teachers from the building. All you have to do is to walk in and say, I'd like to meet with a tutor regarding college reading strategies and a lesson that I have to do. And you'll be paired up with someone who can then help you and sit side by side with you as you work through learning how to use Blackboard or learning how to use the concepts that are being presented in a lesson. The center also has the ability for you to be able to make an appointment ahead of time so that you know that there's somebody waiting for you when you arrive. I wish you every success on week 2, and I look forward to hearing from you, and I really look forward to watching your videos that you've produced this weekend. Best wishes to you.